Good morning, students. Welcome to the online classes of Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today, we are going to continue our third unit of English Reader Book for Class 8. The name of the unit is Literacy, and the second section for the book is for the unit 3 is The Thief. And we'll find out something interesting in the chapter, how a thief is changed just by studying. Let's find out what's in the chapter. I was still a thief when I met Arun, and though I was only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Here we get to know that there is a 15-year-old boy who was a thief. Okay, and he says he was the thief when he met Arun. Arun was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 20, a tall, lean fellow. He looked kind and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to gain this person's confidence. He seemed quite fascinated by the wrestling. Two well-oiled men slid about in the soft mud, grunting and slapping their thighs. When I got Arun into conversation, he didn't seem to realize I was a stranger. Now he says, Arun was watching a wrestling when he tried to meet Arun, and the thief met Arun. Arun was around 20-year-old, a tall and lean fellow. Arun was very kind, and the thief thought that it would be very easy to gain Arun's confidence. So Arun was watching the wrestling going on. This wrestling. Okay, the two wrestlers were completely oiled. Okay, they used the oil on their body. The two wrestlers were completely oiled, and Arun was watching the wrestling. So the thief went on to Arun and started the conversation. And Arun didn't seem to realize, like he was talking like a normal one, that he just like he knew the thief. So Arun talked like the person was not a stranger. You like a wrestler yourself. You look like a wrestler yourself, I said. The thief said that Arun looks like a wrestler. So do you, he replied, which put me out of the stride for a moment because at that time I was rather thin and bony and not very impressive physically. And Arun replies that you also look like a wrestler, and this answer made the thief look very quiet because he was just 15 years old. Bony means he was very thin, okay, and not impressive physically. He was very thin and short on through. Yes, I said, I wrestle sometimes. What's your name? Deepak. I lied. Now it gets that the thief says, yes, I wrestle sometimes. So just as to gain the confidence of Arun. And then Arun asks, what's your name? He lies. The thief lies. Deepak. Deepak was about his fifth name. He had earlier called himself Ranveer, Sudhir, Trilok and Surinder. Okay. After this preliminary exchange, Arun confined himself to comments on the match, and I didn't have much to say. After a while, he walked away from the crowd of spectators. I followed him. After these initial talks, that is the starting talks, okay, Arun started commenting on the match, which the thief didn't thought about commenting. After the match finished, he walked away from the crowd of spectators, and the thief followed. Hello, he said, enjoying yourself? Now Arun asked, are you enjoying the match? I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you. Now the thief says, I want to work for you. He didn't stop walking. And what makes you think that I want someone to work for me? Now Arun says, who says that I want a person to work for me? Well, I said, I've been wandering about all day, looking for the best person to work for. When I saw you, I knew that no one else had a chance. So now again the thief lies that I was looking on for the person all around the day, and I didn't find anybody like you were. And when I saw you, I thought that I will only work for you. You flatter me, he said. You flatter me? That means you amused me. Now Arun was happy with the talkings that thief did. That's alright, but you can't work for me. Why not? Because I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. Can you feed me? I asked. Now Arun says, you can't work for me. Now the thief asks, why not? Because Arun can't pay him. Then the thief thought that he has misjudged a man. Then he asks, can you feed me? The man, Arun replies, can you cook? The thief again replies, I can cook. Now Arun says, if you can cook, I'll feed you. He took me to his room and told me that I could sleep in the veranda. But I was nearly back on the street that night. The meal I cooked must have been terrible because Arun gave it to the neighbor's cat and told me to be off. But I just hung around smiling in my most appealing way, and then he couldn't help laughing. He sat down on the bed and laughed for a full 5 minutes and later patted me on the head and said, never mind, he would teach me to cook in the morning. Now, here Arun takes the thief to his home and asks him to sleep in the veranda. But Arun, because thief did not knew how to cook the food, he cooked terrible food. That food was given to neighbor's cat, and Arun said to leave the house. But after listening that, the thief started smiling again, and Arun started laughing for around 5 minutes, sitting on his bed. And then after he stopped laughing, he said, "Anyways, no issues. I'll teach you how to cook in the morning." Not only did he teach me to cook, but he also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and add money on paper when you didn't have any in your pocket. Now, the thief says that Arun not only helped him in learning how to cook the food, but he also taught him how to write the name of the thief himself and Arun too, and promised him to write the whole sentences and also to make to add money on paper when he didn't have any on paper in his pocket. It was quite pleasant working for Arun. I made the tea in the morning and later went out shopping. I would take my time buying the day's supplies and made a profit of about 25 paise a day. I would tell Arun that rice was 56 paise a pound. It generally was, but I would get it at 50 paise a pound. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he didn't mind. He wasn't giving me a regular wage. Now the thief says he was feeling he was very happy. He was feeling very pleasant working for Arun. He made tea for him in the morning, and after that went out for shopping. He would make a profit of 25 paise per day. As he would tell Arun that the rice was 56 paise a pound. Actually, it was 56 paise a pound, but the thief would get it for 50 paise. So he thought that maybe Arun all knew about that, but he never complained because Arun was not providing any wages to the thief. I was really grateful to Arun for teaching me to write. I knew that once I would write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. I might even be an incentive to be honest. It might even be an incentive to be honest. Arun made me money by fits and starts. He would be borrowing 1 week, lending the next. He would keep worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate lavishly. Now, he says he was very grateful to Arun for teaching him how to read and write. Okay, he knew that once he could start read and write, he could achieve a lot. And he said that Arun made the money by fits and starts. Fits and starts means Arun was not consistent in making money. Okay. Whenever in 1 week he would borrow some money from his known, and the next week he would be lending the persons. Okay, he would keep worrying about the next check, but once he received the check, he would spend the money lavishly. Lavishly here means luxuriously. One evening he came home with a bundle of notes. At night I saw him tuck the bundle under his pillow at the head of the bed. One evening when Arun came back, he had a bundle of notes and that he kept under his pillow. I had been working for Arun for nearly a fortnight. Apart from the shopping, I hadn't done much to exploit him. I had every opportunity for doing so. I had a key to the front door, which meant I had access to the room whenever Arun was out. He was the most trusting person I have ever met. That was why I couldn't make up my mind to rob him. Now he says, I had been working for Arun. The thief was working for Arun for a lot of time, and he got a lot of opportunities to exploit Arun, that is to rob Arun. But Arun was the most trusting person he ever met. Arun always trusted the thief. So the thief couldn't make up his mind to rob Arun. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he deserves to be robbed. It's easy to rob a rich man because he can't afford to be robbed. But it's difficult to rob a poor man, even one who really doesn't care if he is robbed. A rich man or a greedy man or a careful man wouldn't keep his money under a pillow or mattress. He'd lock it up in a safe place. Arun had put his money where it would be child's play for me to remove it without his knowledge. Now, what thief says, it is very easy to rob a greedy man or a rich man because it doesn't matter. Greedy man should be robbed according to the thief. Rich man won't afford to be robbed. But the thief says it is very difficult to rob a poor man because he won't. Also, it won't be easy to rob a person who doesn't care if he is robbed because poor men don't have much, so he won't be caring much. A rich or greedy man or a careful man won't be keeping his or her money like the way Arun kept that. Arun had put that under the pillow, and that was a child's play for the thief to take out that money without his knowledge. It's time I did some real work. I told myself I'm getting out of practice. If I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. He doesn't even pay me. Now he thinks about stealing the money from Arun because he says that Arun also never pays him, and Arun will do nothing but will spend the money with his friends. Arun was asleep. Moonlight came in from the veranda and fell across the bed. I sat up on the floor, my blanket wrapped around me, considering the situation. There was quite a lot of money in that bundle. If I took it, I would have to leave town. I might take the 10:30 express to Amritsar. Now he says that Arun was sleeping. It was already midnight, and the moonlight was coming across. Okay. Now what the thief thought, he would take it and would have to leave midnight, and he have to leave the town. He might take the 10:30 express to Amritsar. That is the train to Amritsar that arrives at 10:30. Sleeping out of the blanket, I crept on all fours through the doors and up to the bed and peeped at Arun. He was sleeping peacefully with a soft and easy breathing. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more markings on my face, though mine were mostly scars. My hand took on an identity of its own as it slid around under the pillow, the fingers searching for the knots. They found them and I drew them out without a crack. Now he tells that Arun was sleeping, and he was sleeping easily, very calmly. And his face didn't have any marks, but the thief's face was filled with marks. Basically, they were the scars. Scars are the you can say the marks when you are hurt and you get the scars on your face. Okay. Now he tried to get under the pillow to get the money. Arun sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. My free hand was resting on the bed and his hair touched my fingers. Now Arun turned, and now Arun was facing the thief, and Arun's hair were touching the fingers of the thief. The thief was frightened when his hair touched his fingers. He crawled quickly and quietly after the room. Now he quickly got the money and came out of the room. When he was in the street, he began to run. He ran down the bazaar road to the station. As I told you, he was thinking of leaving the town. Okay. Shops were all closed, but a few lights came from upper windows. He had the knots at his waist, held there by the string of his pajamas. He felt he had to stop and count the knots, though he knew it might make him late for the train. It was already 10:20 by the clock tower as he slowed down to a walk, and his fingers flicked through the knots. There were about 100 rupees in fives, a good haul. He could live like a prince for a month or two. Now, when he ran towards the station, it was already 10:20. He wanted to count the notes, but then he thought he might be late. But still, after moving some further, he stopped to count the notes. It was 100 rupees. Okay, so he thought there were about 100 rupees in fives. Okay, 5 rupee notes in 100 rupees. That is 20 notes. Okay. Now he thought that he could live like a prince for a month or two in those 100 rupees. The story is from the very past, so you may so don't think that 100 rupees are not enough for a person. Okay. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. He did not stop at the ticket office to get the ticket for the train. He never bought a ticket in his life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Amritsar Express was just moving out. It was moving slowly enough for him to be able to jump on the footboard of one of the carriages, but he hesitated for some urgent, unexplainable reason. Now he saw that the train was moving slowly and he could easily run and move inside the train. But suddenly he stopped. He hesitated long enough for the train to leave without him. When it had gone, he found himself standing alone on the deserted platform. The knowledge that he had 100 stolen rupees in his pajamas only increased his feeling of isolation and loneliness. He had no idea where to spend the night. He had never kept any friends because sometimes friends can be one's undoing. He didn't want to make himself conspicuous by staying at a hotel. The only person he knew really well in the town was the person he had robbed. Now he was feeling very lonely because the 100 rupees that he stole from Arun left him in loneliness. Okay, he was not happy. He was feeling very sad. He had no idea where to spend the night. He never had any sort of friends because he thought that the friends may lead to harm him. Okay, so he had only one person that he knew in the town, and that was the person whom he robbed. He also not wanted to did not want to stay in the hotel because that may make him conspicuous. That may lead him to be a doubtful person. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. I kept thinking of Arun. He would still be asleep, blissfully unaware of his loss. Now, when he left the station, he walked slowly towards the bazaar. He kept thinking of Arun. He would still be asleep, blissfully unaware of the loss. He have made a study of men's faces when they have lost something. The greedy man shows panic, the rich man shows anger, the poor man shows fear. But I know that neither panic, nor anger, nor fear would show on Arun's face. When he discovered the theft, only a terrible sadness, not for the loss of the money, but for the loss of trust. Now thief says, I have seen a lot of person and I can easily read the faces of the person. The greedy man would show panic, the rich man would show anger, the poor man would show fear. But neither panic, nor anger, nor fear would show on Arun's face. He would only be feeling sad because he lost the trust on the thief. I found myself on the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was a little cold and I regretted not having brought Arun's blanket along. A light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind brought the rain whipping across my face. I told myself that sleeping on a bench was something I should have been used to by now. But the veranda had softened me. Now here what thief says that after some time he was in a Maidan and sitting on the bench. The night was very cold and he regretted not to bring Arun's blanket along with him. At the night, the rain started. Drizzle means soft rain, little drops of rain. Okay, they added the discomfort. That is, when when it is cold and the rain starts, you feel much colder as compared to the normal days. After some time, it was raining heavily, and and the thief was completely wet. Okay, he told now he thought that he should have been prepared to sleep on the benches. Okay, because the veranda he used to sleep in at Arun's house had softened him. He walked back to the bazaar and sat down on the step of a closed shop. The clock showed midnight. He felt for the knots. They were still with him but had lost their crispness and were damp with rainwater. Now the thief went to sit on the stairs of a shop, okay, of a closed shop. The clock showed that it was already 12 and he felt for the knots. They were still along with him, but they were damp, they were wet, okay, due to the rain, heavy rain. Arun's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me a rupee to go to the pictures, but now I had it all. No more cooking his meals, running to the bazaar, or learning to write whole sentences. Whole sentences! Now he thinks about Arun's money. He says in the morning he would have given him 1 rupee to go for the movie, but now he had all the money. He got 100 rupees instead of that 1 rupee. And now he thinks of no more cooking his meals, running to bazaar, or learning to write whole sentences. Now he stops. Whole sentences. There was something I had forgotten in the excitement of 100 rupees. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than 100 rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, but to be a really big man, a wise and successful man, that was something else. I should go back to Arun, I told myself, if only to learn how to write. Now he just reminded himself that the whole sentences, and he thought that he just forgot the whole sentence, the learning process he got with Arun, and in the excitement of 100 rupees, he completely forgot about it. Okay, the whole sentences he knew could one day bring him more than 100 rupees. So he said he talked to himself that he will go back to Arun. Okay, perhaps it was also concern for Arun that drew him back. A sense of sympathy is one of his weaknesses, and through hesitation over the theft, I had often been caught. A successful thief must be pitiless. I was fond of Arun, my affection for him, my sense of sympathy, and most of all, my desire to write whole sentences drew me back. Now the thief says that it was also the concern for Arun that drew him back. A sense of sympathy was thief's weakness, and he had been caught also sometimes because of this weakness. And according to him, a successful thief should be pitiless. Pitiless should means merciless. Okay, he was fond of Arun. He started liking Arun. Okay, his affection for him, his sense of sympathy, everything, and most important, the whole sentences he used to write with Arun drew him back to Arun's home. He hurried back to the room extremely nervous, for it is easier to steal something than to return it undetected. If he was caught beside the bed now with the money in his hand, or with his hand under the pillow, there could be only one explanation, that I was actually stealing. If Arun woke up, I would be lost. Now, according to thief, it is very easy to steal something, but it is very difficult to keep the something back from where it was stolen. So he thought that if he was stuck in between, he won't be having explanation, as it would be deemed as stealing. Okay, and if Arun wakes up, he would be lost. I opened the door clumsily means slowly. Then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Gradually my eyes became accustomed to the darkness of the room. Arun was still asleep. I went on all fours again and crept noiselessly to the head of the bed. My hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my fingers. I was fascinated by his tranquil features and easy breathing, and remained motionless for a minute. Then my hand explored the pillow, found the edge, slipped under it with the notes. Now, the thief says he opened the door in a silent manner and stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Okay, and he saw that Arun was still asleep. He went on all fours again and crept noiselessly. That is, he moved noiselessly, and his hand came up with the notes. He slowly put them back under the pillow where Arun was sleeping. Now, I awoke late next morning to find that Arun had already made the tea. I found it difficult to face him in the harsh light of day. His hand was stretched out towards me. There was a 5 rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. Now, thief was late next morning. He woke up late in the morning, but he found that Arun already prepared a tea for him, and the thief was found himself in difficulty to face Arun after that night incident. Okay, and after that Arun passed him a 5 rupee note, and suddenly the thief's heart sank. I made some money yesterday. He said, now you will be paid regularly. Now Arun says, I made some money yesterday and you will be paid on regular basis as wages. My spirit rose as rapidly as it had fallen. Now the thief was happy. I congratulated myself on having returned the money. Now he was happy that he had returned the money. But when he took the note, he realized that Arun knew everything. The note was still wet from the last night's rain. Okay, so Arun knew everything about that. Today, Arun was going to teach the thief how to write a little more than the thief's name. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes said anything about their knowing. Here it is about Arun. Arun knew everything about the last night, but he never said anything to the thief. The thief smiled at Arun in the most appealing way, and the smile came to the thief by himself. He didn't pretend to smile, but it came itself without him even knowing it. The story has been written by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was an Indian author of British descent. Okay. So we have read the story. Let's move on to the question answers. Read and answer. First question. Why did the thief approach Arun? The thief wanted to rob Arun, so he approached him. What was the job assigned to the thief? Was he experienced in that work? The thief was assigned the job of cooking, and no, the thief didn't knew anything about cooking, and he did not perform his task well. Describe how did the thief rob Arun. When Arun was asleep, the thief sneaked under his pillow to take out the cash. Describe how did the thief put the money back. The thief felt ashamed of breaking the trust of a person like Arun. He went back to room and quietly kept the money back under the pillow. What thought crossed the thief's mind at the railway station? He felt lonely as he felt ashamed of robbing a person like Arun who believed him and helped him in learning how to write. Now moving on to the next part, that is think and answer. I hadn't had much luck of late. Was the thief talking about luck in wrestling or robbery? As we read the chapter, students, the thief was talking about robbery and thought that Arun may become his successful target. Now second question. Answer the following questions to infer about Arun. Was he short and thin? No, Arun was tall and fit enough. Was he friendly in nature? Yes, Arun was friendly in nature as he was comfortable in talking to the thief when they met for the first time. Was he a trusting man? Yes, Arun was a trusting man as he trusted the thief blindly. Why did the thief praise Arun? The thief praised Arun as Arun taught him how to read and write. Arun also gave him surety of helping him in learning how to write full sentences. Do you think Arun was aware of the theft? Give reasons in support of your answer. Yes, Arun was aware of theft. In the morning itself, Arun prepared tea for the thief and also gave him a wet 5 rupee note assuring him that he will be paid on regular basis from now on. The next part, that is reference to context, we have to read the line and answer accordingly. Because I can't pay you. Who said this and to whom? Arun said this to the thief. When did the speaker say this? When the thief asked him for work. Why can't I pay you? Because Arun did not earn money regularly, or you can say consistently. He earned the money in fits and starts. What happens next? The thief was ready to become a cook for Arun when he asked about cooking. Okay students, so that's it from the chapter. Before leaving the video, I would like to say please like the video, subscribe the channel. Till then, thank you.